Welcome, Smelcom, to another episode of the Green Room. Hope you guys are excited, as am I. Today's special. I have one of my good friends who's going to pop in with us today. If you are a newbie to the Green Room, let me know. Say something. If you come every Friday, thank you for coming and hanging out. These are fun. What's up, Book? Fridays at 3 o'clock p.m. Every week is someone different. Last week was a lot of fun. Last week was Kiera. Shared. Week before that was Andy Minio. I don't remember the week before that, but it's always somebody amazing. So we're going to keep it coming. Today's going to be a lot of fun. Tell everybody, get on for the Green Room. Get on for the Green Room. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm excited about it. I got some questions to ask today. We're going to get down in the nitty gritty of the nitty. I got like this slight headache. Major was before Andy. That's right. Major was good. We had Jonathan Nelson. We've had who else have we had? We've had Daryl Walls. We've had Matt Kemp. It's been some really good ones. And today we got my big brother. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Devon Franklin. Make noise for my brother. I'm so excited. Oh God, I'm messing up stuff.
Yo.
There we go.
What's up, man?
There we go.
How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Not much. It's good to see you. How you been?
Man, I'm good, man. How's Cali treating you?
It's man. Hey, the sun is shining today, and we good. You know what I mean? I can't complain.
Yo,
How about you? Is it raining
what's
out there?
behind you? What's behind you?
Oh, that's my Star movie poster. That's a book cover from one of my last books. That's a picture from back when I was at the studio. This is a picture of Joel Osteen, Will Smith back in the day. We were on the Hancock set. Yeah, man. This is, oh shoot, I can't take it off. Hold on, let me try this.
Joel Osteen came to the Hancock set?
Yeah, man.
How cool is that? Y'all love that movie.
Yep, that was, man, dude, that was years ago, brother.
Wow.
That's some music from Sparkle, movie I worked on when I was at Sony as Malcolm X. That's my other film, Miracles from Heaven.
Ooh.
And that's my goal right there.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
This right here is like way back. See, that's Jaden when we did the Karate Kid.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's me.
Man. Oh, you look like your brother in that picture.
I know.
Yo, man, you are a legend, man.
Oh, come on, man. I got a long way to go. You a legend. Shoot,
No, man.
To your level, bro.
It's the truth, man. You are a legend, man. How does it feel to be a legend?
I don't know. When it happens, I'll let you know.
Wake up in the morning and stress and be like, another legendary day.
Nah, shoot, I got a long way to go, bro. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, life is hard for me right now because I started keto.
Oh, keto.
It's not fun.
Dude, so tell me, what are your goals and objectives with keto?
So my goal is I want to tone up. Well, I want to get like super slim, and then I just want to build mass muscle. Is that a bad strategy? No one has taught me through this. Like, I don't even know. I'm already slim. I'm trying to get like slimmer, and then like focus on like coming back. Like,
right?
Is that a bad idea?
It's not a bad idea, but how is keto going to get you there?
I don't know. I just ordered a keto smoothie. Hey, is that my keto smoothie? Hey! Bring my keto smoothie!
Who are you yelling to?
I don't know. One of my kids.
Man, listen, the keto, I tried keto. Here's the thing about keto in my experience.
It's not good. I think I like the name. I like the name. The name makes me feel...
It feels like you're doing something. Oh, I'm on keto.
I'm on keto. It makes me feel fancy.
I found that keto was very effective, like initially, like if you're trying to drop, it was effective initially, but it wasn't like sustainable for me long term. You know, it was a really hard diet. Eating that kind of fat and that much fat was just hard for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I did it for a little bit, and then I kind of just modified and kind of do my own thing now, which entails, you know.
What's your own thing? What's your own thing? Walk me through it. Educate me.
Oh, man. Dude, I'm crazy when it comes to the regimen, man. I'm crazy. I mean, in the morning, I get up, I work out almost every day. Say it again.
How early?
Usually I'm trying to work out like between, you know, 6 and 7:30, somewhere in that range. Yeah. You know, get up early, man, hit the day. And then I do a shake every day. You know, I do a shake with vegan protein, man. I got vegan protein, avocados, flaxseed, oats, cayenne pepper, garlic, cloves, cinnamon. I mean, dude, it's crazy. It's
you just put all that stuff in there.
Green juice. I put all of it. I put it all in there, man. You know, and I drink the whole thing, and that kind of usually gets me through most of the day. And then if I'm hungry, I'll snack, and then I usually don't eat until the evening time. And you know, that works pretty well for my system. You know.
So, whoa! You eat for the first time in the evening?
The past couple weeks, I have not had like a full meal until dinner time. That's correct. Yes,
wow.
Because I've been snacking during the day. I'll do nuts. I'll do a protein bar. I'll do an apple. You know, I got an apple over here that I haven't eaten yet.
The keto don't even want you to do apples or like plums. They're like too much sugar.
I know, but that's one reason why I don't like keto. I'm like, how can you not have fruit? Fruit is a whole food.
God made it.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, but everybody has to sort out, you know, what works for them. So I'm glad.
I'm gonna be honest, Devon. I'm gonna be very honest with you. If mid section up, if mine looked like yours, I would do baptisms with my shirt off. I'm gonna be very honest with you. There is no way if I had what you have.
You need help.
There's no way I would wear clothes during the baptism.
Oh man,
and maybe
right?
That's
it's like,
God
you know,
trust me.
Man, listen, you don't understand, dude. 2 years ago, I saw a picture I had taken of myself, and I was like, man, in 2 years, I've completely transformed how I look in 2 years, because I just like, you know what? I don't want to look this way. I want to look more fit. I want to look like what I'm talking about. So it just required me to, you know, make some changes. Now, I haven't done shirtless baptisms. You know, I ain't done that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see.
So I'm working out. I don't know if it does anything, man. I work out every day, 5 days a week, and I just don't know, man. And I buy all these apps. I'm like that guy. I'll just buy the app, and that make me feel like, oh, I just gave them $30, so I'm about to look like this guy.
Right.
And so I buy these apps, and then someone told me do keto, so I'm doing keto. I'm 3 days in, and I don't like it. And you're telling me to get out.
I'm not saying get out. I'm saying you got to see what works for you. Now, but let me ask you this. What sort of workout are you doing right now?
So that's a good question. It's a really good question. I do these ab joints that are killer. And then I also they're basically just a bunch of calisthenics. So like, you know, your squats and burpees and wall chairs and all that kind of stuff. I got a home gym, but just like some of that stuff, a lot of stretching and I haven't been doing really heavy lifting lately. It's more just like conditioning.
Now, when was the last time you like went to the doctor, got a blood test?
Oh man, yeah, I do that every Tuesday, man. So, you know, like you get on baller level, you know what I'm saying? It's just you have them come through. So the doctors come through, you know, the dentists come through, colonoscopy. You know, I just have everybody come to the house and just.
It's like that. You rolling like that?
No, I haven't done a blood test. I can't tell you, man. It's been a long time. I don't know. Probably before I went on my last African run or something. I don't
know. You got to get your blood work, because your blood work will tell you a lot about maybe why you're not, you know, building muscle. You got to check your testosterone levels. You know, there's a lot that may be going on inside that may be why you're not getting the type of toning that you're looking for, you know? Man,
but before, when I was young, I'd just do sit-ups and I'd be ripped.
Nah, man, as we get older, bro, the main thing, the number one thing that most men have to deal with is a lack of testosterone as you get older, which will then it'll mess up you being lean. You know, your stomach's not going to be right. Like you gotta look at those things. You know, so it's very important.
Testosterone.
Say it again.
I need more testosterone.
You might. That's when you get your blood work checked. You might. you might need
Do
to
you
get
take
that checked.
animal?
Say it again.
Do you take the animal vitamins?
What are the animal vitamins?
It's something at the vitamin store called Animal. They had me take it on one of my tours. It just didn't. It wasn't a good idea. I think I had my testosterone levels like too high, and like it was just bad. It was a bad. It was a bad combo.
It wasn't good. It
It was a
wasn't
bad
good.
combo of ministry and testosterone. So it was these big old pills. So I'm really kind of.
Nah, man, I don't believe in all, you know, all that over counter stuff, man. You got to be careful with some of that stuff. Some of that stuff will mess you up. You know.
So I had my testosterone. I said, you know what? I bind these, and I'm just going. You know, I like my pace. I like my pace of life. So I had to get back to it. So no keto. All right. So listen, man, you don't want to accept the fact that you're legendary. Everybody thinks that you're legendary. You have literally, I think, done what most people preach about, right? You've engaged the culture around you. You're in the world, but not of the world. You take a righteous stand in the midst of, you know, Hollywood, which is, you know, in the 70s and 80s, it was like Hollywood is hell, and you're like, well, then I'm going there, and I'm, you know, literally bring the banner of God in there. Man, how has this journey affected you?
Oh man, I mean, you know, it's affected me in many ways. I mean, I mean, the overall, you know, effect has been positive. You know, it's been I mean, listen, the fact that I'm here and, you know, been able to, you know, continue to make change in this industry and be a part of it's been a blessing. I think the major effect has been, you know, it's like, I think that not allowing any of this to become my own internal definition of who I am.
Whoa.
You know, that has probably been one of the biggest impacts because, you know, there's a real temptation to identify too strongly with things and titles. And so, you know, I've been in Hollywood for 24 years. I mean, you know, I started when I was 18 years old as an intern. Wow. And so I've seen a lot. And I think because I've seen a lot and I've been in the business, I've been allowed to see so many things from the back, you know, from backstage and seeing, you know, how the industry really works and how people really are, that it has helped me not internalize any of this. I'm blessed to do it. I know God is using me, but the moments that I've allowed it to get so deep in my spirit where I'm defining my worth by what I'm doing, those have been some tough moments. Those have been tough because what happens is like when things are going good, oh, I'm happy and I'm Devon. And then when things are not good, I don't know who I am and I'm frustrated, I'm depressed, all these type of things.
Whoa.
So for me, I've had to learn the effect is to say, you're like, okay, I'm blessed to do it. I know God is using it, but I resist the temptation to let it get so deep in my spirit that I misinterpret who I am. You know, like because here's the thing, like right now I don't have a movie out, right? So from an entertainment standpoint, if I was basing my self-worth on the movies that I have in the marketplace, right now, I'd be depressed. Oh, I don't have a movie out. I'm not in production right now, but I'm not. Why? Because I'm like, hey, cool. I still know who I am. Those movies will happen. God already knows what needs to be made. I'm good. I'm still working hard. I'm still focused. But the biggest effect it has had is for me learning the lesson of not internalizing this. Because I've seen it really drive people crazy. I've seen people, you know, lose their minds, their hearts because they give it over to the business or whatever it may be, whatever your line of work may be. You give yourself over to it, and then when things don't work, you're like, who am I? And I'm defining myself by all this stuff that really doesn't matter. And so that has been the biggest thing that is the effect that it's had on me personally.
Man, it's been great to just, I guess, over the past, I don't even know how long it's been, couple years or so, just watch you be a friend of yours, and you know, you come through. I mean, you've come to country Columbia, South Carolina, and show love at the last minute too.
Hey,
you know,
man,
like,
you put up with that signal. I'm coming,
man, and just be like who you are on and off stage. What attribute to that? Like, did you enter at 18 Hollywood with your core and your character set, or was it developed through the years?
It for sure has been developed over the. Oh, you getting your keto smoothie?
Yeah. You don't want to be seen on camera? No. Come on, show the people. We talking about being the real. We talking about the real deal.
Come on, let's see.
got
That
my
don't look
keto
like no.
smoothie.
Where is? Oh, that's from
Smoothie King.
Smoothie King. Man, that's
Today is
huge.
sponsored. This show is sponsored by Smoothie King. Get your keto smoothie today. It's not sponsored by. Go ahead. Four character.
Oh man, in terms of character, here's the thing. I was raised in the church. You know, been in the church my whole life. You know, raised in the Adventist church, and then my father died when I was 9 years old. He died when he was 36 of a heart attack. And that same year, my uncle, who was an Adventist minister, started an independent ministry. So that was 9 years old. And then I didn't leave for Hollywood until 18. So for 9 years, you know, I was in that ministry, and he really taught us a lot, along with my aunts and my mother.
What city?
Oakland, California. A lot about
you from Oakland.
Oakland, yeah.
Oh, don't get it twisted. Don't let the
That's
light
right.
skin fool you. You from
That's
you
right.
from Oaktown. Okay.
From Oaktown, man. And the church was in East Oakland. So anybody knows East Oakland, man, it's a rough area. It's still there. It's been there for 30 years. And so growing up, you know, integrity and character was a big part of our upbringing. So when I got to Hollywood, you know, my first thing was to get an internship, because I didn't know anything about the business, right? So I went and applied for an internship at the company that managed Will Smith. That interview went well. At the end of the interview, they said, "What do you want us to know?" And I told them, listen, I was raised observing the Sabbath. You know, I said, so Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown, I don't work. So if you want me to take this internship and it requires me to work on the Sabbath, I won't take it.
Wow.
So, you know, and they were like, oh, okay. They had never heard that before. And so after a moment, they were like, okay, no problem. You know, we can work around that. And so from day one, inadvertently, I was communicating that I didn't want the business at the expense of who I was and what I believed.
Wow.
And I didn't do that. It was not intentional. It wasn't like, ooh, because I think sometimes, you know, in the church, we kind of teach this false idea that, you know, oh, you got to get out there and stand for your values, and here's how it's going to look. Well, it's not always that way. It's either in you or it's not, right? If it's in you, it's going to come out. Whatever's in you is going to come out.
Wow.
And so for me in those moments,
whatever's in you is going to come out.
Good or bad, whatever's in you. So if the word is in you, it's going to come out. You don't have to force it. It'll be organic. And if the word's not in you, what's not in you will come out too, right?
Come on.
And so I was honest about that. They gave me the internship. And so at 18 years old, I started as an unpaid intern working at the company that managed Will Smith. I was getting coffee. I was doing faxing. I was filing. I was, you know, getting lunch orders. I was running errands. You know, it was not sexy work at all.
Question. We're going to get right back here. First encounter with Will Smith. Were you like geek? Were you like chill? Please walk me through that. You 18, you see the man Will Smith 24 years ago.
You know what? I was excited. I was a huge, while I was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fan, I was a Fresh Prince fan first. A Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff fan first. Like I had, you know, the album, I mean, not the album, the cassette tape. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. So, you know, I was already into him as an artist. And so meeting him was exciting. And we talked about years ago, he had done a song about Freddy Krueger, you know, from the Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was like an unofficial song.
Yeah.
And they did a video and everything, but New Line, the studio that made the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, wouldn't let Will and Jazzy Jeff release the video. Wow. So my first encounter with him was asking him, I was like, yo, dude, what happened to the video? Why couldn't you release it? And so he was giving me some insights on that. Wow. And that was my first interaction with them. And then, you know, that obviously led to so many other interactions.
Yeah. I like to like go into the moment of like, what was, you know, like what's going through your mind? What is that like? Did you embarrass yourself? Were you cool? Were you chill? Were you like homie? Were you like, how can I serve you?
I was nervous, but I was cool. Like at that point in time, by the time I met him, I had been at the internship for a couple months. So I was kind of getting my footing and everything. Yeah. And then also the thing about it is that, you know, I was mindful that I was at work.
Mm-hmm. Good.
You know, I was like, okay, I'm at work. You know, he's here working. You know, this is not a time for a fan moment. You know, like I think I
Come
had
on,
to go
man. Teach us.
go downstairs in the elevator with them or something. So, you know, I had to feel it out. And this is where, you know, again, like, you got to be in the spirit in the moment. So it wasn't like, ooh, this is Will Smith. Even though I felt that, I had to be sensitive to the spirit.
So good.
Is it time for me to speak? Is it time for me to engage that way? And so, you know, I felt it out. It felt comfortable. I asked a specific question. You know, he gave me a specific answer, and that was cool. You know, we didn't get into anything else. It wasn't like, oh, man, can I get your autograph? None of that stuff. No, I'm here working. This is a professional exchange. And so as a result, I think that laid a foundation, again, talking about character and integrity, you know, where I was just like, I was integral because I wasn't trying to get anything from him other than like, hey, you know, I'm a fan of what you did. I'm just curious to know the business side of this video and why it didn't get released and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, again, long answer to your question, but integrity and character has organically been a part of the business. And it's something that I've learned even more over time. You know, there was a time when I was at Sony, man. And, you know, again, I go back to what I said earlier, which is, you know, when we start to internalize what we do, it can damage our character in really bad ways. So when I was at Sony and I was working on the Karate Kid, long story short, I mean, I talk about this and I talk about this story in my book, The Success Commandments. But there was a moment where at first I was the junior executive on Karate Kid. So, you know, on most films that you see in the theater, there, you know, multiple executives that work on the films behind the scenes. And there's usually a senior executive in production that is responsible for any film that you see, whether it's on Netflix or in the theater. So I was a junior executive initially on Karate Kid, but I felt like I should be the senior executive. So long story short, the script came into me because I had a relationship with Will's company because they produced Karate Kid.
Okay.
They gave me the script first. I read the script first. And instead of giving it to the senior executive that was on the project, I went to our boss, the president. So I got the script. I didn't give it to the senior executive. I went to the president.
Wow.
I said, hey, I got the Karate Kid script. You know, you should read it. So the president reads the script and he's like, oh man, this is good. He's like, what did the senior executive think? Oh. And I said, well, you know, I hadn't given it to him. I mean, I thought giving it to you. He was like, well, you know, you should give him the script, but we should go ahead and set the meeting with Will and the producers and stuff. So I go to the senior executive and I say, hey, here's the Karate Kid script. And he was like, well, when did it come in? I was like, well, you know, a couple of days ago. And I'm like, and, you know, and I said, well, you know, the president's ready. He said, well, you wait a minute. You had it, you read it, you gave it to the president, but you didn't give it to me. And I said, yes. And he was like, and he was not happy.
Wow.
So he goes to the president and he says, man, this is messed up. And how can you let him do this? And in that moment, my brother, I realized this right here is what it's all about.
Wow.
I cannot profess to be a Christian and try to step over people on the way to the top, cut people out, backstab them, because my own ambition was getting the best of me.
Come on, man.
And so I said, oh, got it. So here I am. Everybody knows I'm a Christian, but then my Christianity is causing me to cut people out. So in this moment, I was like, oh, God. I said, you know, and I apologized to the senior executive. I said, yo, I'm sorry. I can't believe I did this. You're right. And so what ultimately happened is that the president was like, okay, we have to figure this out because Devon, that was not right what you did. But I said to the president, I said, listen, I know what I did was wrong. I know it was wrong. And I take full accountability and responsibility. Full. Too often, we want to excuse away our unexcusable behavior.
Woo!
If you did something that wasn't right and it was unexcusable, own it.
Wow.
I did it. I did it. I owned it. And I said to the president, I said, listen, while what I did was wrong, here's what you got to know. This movie is a $40 million movie. It's a lower budgeted film. Most movies that Will was involved in were over $100 million.
Wow.
I said, this is a $40 million movie. I said, it stars Will's son. I said, outside of the chairman of the company, I have the closest relationship with the Smith family outside of the chairman of the company. If you all believe in me and believe that I have the potential, then I'm asking you to let me run this movie and be the only executive on this film. And if you don't believe in me, let me know. and maybe it's time for me to start looking at other opportunities, because if you don't think I can run the Karate Kid, then you really don't believe in me. So I know what I did was wrong. I'm not asking to be rewarded for bad behavior, but I also want you to know my heart and where it came from.
Wow.
So sorry, this is a long story.
No,
but,
bro, please. I'm over
man,
here
you want
like,
to know? I'm telling you the ins and
I
outs,
love
man.
this,
This is the
I
real.
love this. I love this.
So, so the president heard what I was saying, and like literally, we were getting ready to do this meeting with the producers on the script and everything, and so the president had to make a decision, and so he brings me and the senior executive together, and he says, I don't reward bad behavior. So Devon, if you do this again, I'm not gonna tolerate it. He said, however, I do agree with your point. You are qualified to run this movie. So I'm gonna give you this movie. But if there's any other thing like this that happens, you may not be the right fit for this company.
Wow.
And so he gave me the movie. He removed the senior executive off the project. And, you know, I ran with that film. I apologize. I put in as much work as I could. I mean, we shot it in Beijing, man. There would be times in LA, I'd be in the office at 2 or 3 in the morning, because that would be the time when, you know, they were shooting in Beijing.
Wow.
You know, I went to Beijing 9 times in 9 months.
Wow.
Oversaw the film. The movie was, you know, incredibly successful. It opened at $56 million. Did over $350 million around the world. It was one of the most profitable films for Sony that year in 2010 when it came out. I believe it was 2010. So
wow.
my point in saying all that is that, you know, integrity and character is not what you say, it's what you do.
Come on, man.
And how you do it. And I realized in that moment, I can't want this so badly that I'm willing to do anything to get it. Because here's the truth. If God had already said this is mine,
yeah,
why do I have to cut somebody else to get it?
Straight up.
It started to not, I was like, oh, got it. So what's happening is I'm wanting it too bad. I'm putting too much ambition. I've got to step back and let God do what he's going to do, and let me continue to stay humble and commit to the process.
Come on, man.
So here's another part that happened. So I go ahead and movie works, super successful, biggest movie on Sony's slate from a profitability standpoint that year. And my bosses, after that movie opened, they came and sat me down. They said, Devon, you did a great job on the movie. You know, like normally when you have that kind of success on a film, you get promoted and you end up getting more money, right? So, but with me, they said, listen, we wish we could promote you, but we can't. You know, we have too many senior executives. You're going to have to still get used to supporting other executives on movies. Yes.
Even after that.
Even after that. So
you're having to submit to people who you've outperformed that year.
Yes. 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 The movie made, I'm telling, I can't tell you how much profit, but it was a lot. It was a whole lot. A whole lot of profit, right? So I said, okay, wait a minute. So, okay. So I was so upset, right? I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to get promoted. I got to go back to supporting other executives on the movies. But now here's the thing. I was so mad, but God had not released me to leave that company.
Whoa. Been there.
So I said, oh, I'm so upset. But I said, all right, I'm not released. So I went back to my office and I said, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? Because I can't get up in the morning if all I am doing is servicing other people on their projects. I've got to have something of my own in addition to the service. I'm going to do the service because I know that's my job. I'm not trying to get out of my job, but I need something else. So here's what he did. I had just made the movie with Bishop Jakes, Not Easily Broken, with Kevin and Taraji.
Yeah. And
right around this time, you know, when all this was going, I think Karate Kid came out in actually 2009, excuse me. When all this was happening, I was like, oh, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Got it. So I went back to Michael Linton, who was the chairman of Sony. I said, hey, I said, Bishop's movie did really well. I said, you know, why don't we give me another $6 million? Let's make another movie with Bishop. And he said, okay. We took that $6 million. I used to work for Tracy Edmonds. She had a script called Jumping the Broom. I called up Tracy, said, Tracy, I'm making a movie with Bishop. What do you got? She gave me the script of Jumping the Broom. I said, let's make this with Bishop Jakes. Let's put it together. Boom. We made Jumping the Broom for 6. Movie comes out 2011. It does almost 40 million at the box office. So then the chairman was like, yo, I want you to do Sparkle, you know, Whitney Houston's last film. Great. We do that with Bishop and Devon Martin Chase and Salim Akil and Mara Akil. Did that movie. Who would have known Whitney was going to pass away? It was like a really powerful experience to work with her on her last film. That movie led me to Heaven is for Real. You know, the book came in. I was like, great. The author was like, hey, we really love Bishop. I was like, great. We got a relationship with Bishop. I called Bishop and say, hey, Bishop, we're about to do this movie called Heaven is for Real. He read the book. He was in. Heaven is for Real comes out. We made it for $14 million. It does $30 million in the first 5 days, on its way to $100 million.
Whoa.
2 days after opening weekend
Whoa.
for Heaven is for Real, I went into the chairman of Sony and I quit. Now God had released me. He said, okay. He said, now it's time to go. He said, because now you have enough skill, you have enough knowledge, and you have enough equity to do what I've called you to do, which is start my own company. Mm-hmm. So 2 days after the movie opened, I went in, I told the chairman, I'm quitting. I want to start Franklin Entertainment right here. And I said, I want you to fund it. And she said, okay. And we started, I'm telling you, because she knew, she's like, okay, you've done your thing. You paid your dues. And that's when I started the company about 5 years ago. Here's why that's relevant. If I had gotten the bump off of Karate Kid that I wanted, I would have never figured out what I was supposed to do. Whoa. Like what I'm doing now, Breakthrough, whoa, Miracles from Heaven, The Star, all these movies go directly back to not getting the opportunity I wanted in Karate Kid. Because God was saying, if I open that door, you're never going to become who I called you to be. Woo! You're never going to make the movies that I need you to make. Anybody can make The Karate Kid, but very few people can make Breakthrough.
Come on,
very few people can make Miracles from Heaven. Very few people can make Heaven is for Real. So that closed door was not to hurt me. It was to help me. And I had to really get creative and think like, okay, God, what is in me? And because of that, I'm sitting here talking to you today, and now, you know, have a deal with Paramount and Netflix and CBS, and, you know, I'm at the beginning of a major, you know, run of content.
Come on,
and it all came from that experience with character and integrity, you know, and dropping the ball, picking it up, and then when I really was angry, not operating in anger, keeping my cool, asking God to open the door, and when He opened that door, people told me, my brother, people told me, don't work on those faith movies. When I was an executive, don't work on those faith movies. Man, don't make those little low budget films. And those low budget faith movies were the thing that catapulted me around the world.
Come on, bro.
So man, I know that is the longest answer to one question.
No, bro. It's so necessary, man. I think that is what this generation needs to hear the most, man, about integrity, about submission, about God's timing, about humility. I mean, what you just spit out, there's people all over the place, man. Cameron, the actors on here. I mean, there's people from all over the globe who are like jumping in like, oh my God. Like, I think you're opening our eyes and reminding us about God's way and His process. And you're proof of the fact that God's process actually works, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Amen. Amen. Because so many people see they see the tree, they don't see the roots. You know what I mean? They see the fruits, but they don't see the process, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, being able to give that level of detail to show people like, yo, this road has not been easy. It's been hard. You know, it takes patience. It takes timing. It takes persistence. It takes skill.
Yeah.
It takes commitment. And also you gotta it's like at the end of the day, it's like, God, if I'm here to be of service, then I gotta take my ego and put it on the altar. Ooh. You know what I mean? I gotta put that ego on the altar because it's very hard to serve ego and God at the same time.
Woo!
You have to choose one. You have to.
Whoa, bro.
You have to. You gotta choose one. You gotta choose one. You can't say, hey, I'm gonna serve my ego and serve. No, either I'm going to serve God and my ego is going to be in service to God, or I'm going to serve my ego and then God's going to be in service to my ego.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And so learning that process.
I'm going to do me in God's name.
Right. And a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done that. And it didn't produce the feeling that I wanted. I knew I wasn't being used of Him. I was being used of myself. And so, you know, learning the process, especially in Hollywood, one of the most competitive, high profile industries in the world, the more that I've really just submitted to God and still done the work,
Yeah.
he has opened doors in this business that I could never imagine.
Man. So you talk about, man, you threw out jumping the broom, right?
Yeah.
So you do this film, and if I remember correctly from just researching you through the years, that's where you and Megan kind of connected, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Well, we had met years before, but that's really where we got reconnected.
Yeah.
And it was that movie. I was the executive that oversaw that film.
Great
She was
movie,
obviously
man.
one of the stars. Thank you. Yeah, I love Jumping the Broom.
So
And
so
say it again.
So just, you know, just bro talk real quick. Was you're like, cause see, I had like saw my wife before I saw my wife, and I was like, oh yeah, she dope, you know. Like, so like, is it something like, was it from like cousin Skeeter? Had you been like, you know, man, Megan's dope, and then just like, oh, we had jumping room together, or was it like, I'm just doing me, I'm submitted to God, I'm serving kingdom, and it's like, ah. But
No,
was it like on your radar, or was it like, did it blindside you?
I mean, it wasn't on my radar like that. I mean, you know, she's making good. I mean, you know, like, it's like, there you go. Like, wow, yeah. But because I was the executive on the movie, I wasn't thinking anything like that, because I was like, that would not be good.
Yeah.
You know,
Focus.
like, I didn't want to be a situation where I'm crossing a line or anything like that. So I really kept it totally professional, not only with her, but with all the you know, the female cast members. Because it was like, nah, I'm not trying to be that guy. I don't want a reputation as an executive that I'm using movies to further my dating life or whatever. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
So wait. So up until this point, you had never done that.
Never. No.
Really?
With somebody that was in a movie? No.
So you single in Hollywood? Is these
I'm dating.
actresses?
I'm dating, but I didn't know. I went
you
on a
never
couple
like
dates.
was like on the scene and you was like, man,
No.
geez.
I went on a couple of dates with a couple of actresses. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So no, I never seriously dated an actress until I married Megan. Never.
Wow.
Because again, you go back to that character and integrity piece, man. Like, you know, look, if
Bro,
it
I
was the
could
right
barely play the
situation.
keyboard at church growing up without hollering at a soprano. And you telling me you in you in Hollywood.
Listen, it wasn't like I wasn't dating. I was dating, but I wasn't dating actresses. That's the difference. You know what I mean? I wasn't at home twiddling my thumbs, you know.
I was like, yo, she just sung the heck out of Now Behold the Lamb. Like, hey girl, like, let's go to the dollar movie. Like, you just sung that.
Let's go to the dollar movie.
Man, you're a killer, man. That's amazing, man. I'm inspired just by like your character and your focus. So okay, so you there, you've been professional, you roll up, it's Meg, like walk me through. Like, I'm just being nosy right now. Was it just like organic? Was it like, you know, I was thinking.
But listen, through the whole movie, we were cool. You know, we shot it in not Winnipeg, we shot it in Nova Scotia, Canada, which is in the northeast of Canada. We were cool on set, everything was good. And then it really wasn't until the premiere party about 9 months later when we started to talk, and I was like, man, you know, I think there's something here. And then I went on my book tour for my first book called Produced by Faith. And I did that. And then I said, hey, you know, when I come off the tour, I'll hit you up. I hit her up. And, you know, we went out and it was cool. You know, I thought, all right, cool, friendship. And then we hung out again. And then on the third date is when I began to realize, like, oh, wow, man, you know, I think there's something here. And what I didn't know is that she knew that God had told her I was going to be her husband, like, you know, months and months before we ever went on a first date.
Really?
Yeah, God had revealed that to her and told her, like, hey, you know, this is what's going to happen. And so God told her, but don't do anything. Just keep getting yourself ready. Wow. And so by the time we started hanging out, I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know that she was going to be my wife until, you know, months and months after we started dating.
Wow.
You know, and at first I was a little hesitant because it's like, wait, she's making good. She's, you know, famous. You know, she's an actress. I'm like, okay. But then I was like, all right, God, I'm just going to submit to your will. And, you know, now we've been married for 8 years.
I love it, man. I love it. You know, my wife, when we first, you know, my wife came to me and she was like, you know, like, I think you're the one. And I was like, really? You know, nah, that didn't happen. I definitely chased her down. But we're in our 9th year, man. You know, I think one thing your wife reminds me of with my wife, like they have this, if you're ever around them, they have this like, I'm just cool think about them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
my wife is never like too like up or too down. You know, everywhere we at, it's just like, I'm not impressed with anybody. Like, it's cool. You know, I'm just
Yeah.
cool. It ain't this like striving, this, you know, I'm going to take 1,000,000 selfies at every 5 minutes. Like, I need everybody to, it's like, you know, and I've been around you guys. And I mean, you've been around my wife too. And I think it's awesome. I just, they remind me of each other in that
Nice. Yeah.
thing, that really just
Absolutely.
cool. I'm just there. I ain't too high. I'm just like chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think they both are very similar in that regard and that same energy and spirit. You know, and it's a blessing to have, you know, for us to have these type of partners who have just so much, you know, humility and character, and you know, it really helps set the tone for the marriage and so many other things.
Matt, so what is it like those seasons where you're doing a movie, right? Beijing, you over here. I know that was, you know, a while ago, but I'm just using
Yeah.
that as an example. You're in LA, you're up all night, you're overseeing a film that may be in a different location, you're back and forth. At the same time, she's shooting something. And from my knowledge, I haven't been on Hollywood sets, but I've been told a film can take up to 6-9 months even or more to shoot a movie. How are those dynamics? You both are moving 100 miles per hour in a season. How does that work?
You know, I mean, I think that, you know, I think you really got to be called to it. You know what I mean? It's not, if you want something traditional, this ain't it. I'm gonna tell you that. You got to really be called to it. You got to have a temperament for it. And how it is like, so like when I was shooting Breakthrough, I shot that in Winnipeg. I was there for about 4 months, including our pre-production time, shooting time, and then a little bit of post. And then she was in Vancouver shooting Shazam. And I was also working on my book. So, you know, we saw each other maybe once a month, you know, at that point in time. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know, man, we just make it work. I mean, you FaceTime,
Great
you hang
sport.
out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, I think what helps me make it work is that I'm as, in addition to me being committed to what she does for me, I'm committed to what she does in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So her needing to go, you know, film, I'm like, yes, go do that. Like,
Wow,
I don't ever want her to feel like her choice between her gift is going to be in conflict with me.
man.
Like, I don't want that. You know, it's like, no, if you got to go do that, we'll sacrifice, we'll figure it out. You know, like, no, you got to go conquer the world. You got to go be in that movie, that TV show. Like, you got to do that. Like, I don't ever want her to be like, oh, well, if I do that, is home going to be okay? Home's going to be fine.
Man.
I'm going to be fine. I got it. Don't worry. You go. Because I think sometimes as men, you know, we have spent our life, you know, getting what we need. But the women in our lives haven't always got what they need.
Yeah.
And haven't always become who they could become.
Whoa.
Because they felt like they had to exchange that just to support.
Whoa.
And I think that you can do both. I think you can be supportive of your spouse and still do all the things that you're called to do. Man. And in the world, you know, and so it's a balance. It's not easy. It takes sacrifice. It takes temperament, but that's what it looks like. It looks like, all right, I'm down with you. I'm rolling with you. You're rolling with me. We're going to talk when we can. I'm going to come there when I can. You're going to come here when you can. And we just got to keep it fluid. You know, that's the thing. Because the moment it's got to be, if the moment is like this, then it's like going to be a problem. But if we just stay fluid, we're going to be good.
I love that, man. Here's a question for you, right? I think that you are like the epitome of the Christian man. You're like all God. You're like business. You're like wife. You're like, I'm just doing everything that I'm called to do, and like making the best out of like these 40-something years you've been around. And I mean, you are like, you're that guy. You're the poster guy for like, you know, if I like in my next church, I may just do a poster of you in the lobby and say, go to all of our discipleship classes and become this. Like,
don't do that.
Do keto and pray all day and sign up for discipleship, and you can become this guy, right? You are.
Don't do that.
But I guess I want to know, like, are there any, like, do you ever, like, are you human ever, right? So here's my point. I went to like Joe Osteen. You got a picture behind you. And for the longest, I thought Joe was this robot. I literally thought he was a robot, right? He smiles all the time. This is my Bible. You know, it's all of that. So like Joel is a literal robot. Now I went to his church and something happened at his church. And it was like these people who were there and they were like standing up and screaming in the audience and like trying to like disturb the service. I was there that Sunday. Those guys who got arrested, all that stuff. I was literally there at Lakewood sitting out in the audience.
Wow.
And Joe got through his message. He never broke his smile. And he was like, clearly the enemy don't want me to get through this message. He just kept going. And he got to the very end. And he started doing like the call for salvation. And one of the members of Lakewood was like, we love you, Joe. And he was like, thank you, thank you. And then he tried to get through. He couldn't even get through the call of salvation. He broke down crying on the podium.
Right.
Head on the podium. His wife come up behind him, pat him on the back. And I was like, I was like, oh my God, he's human.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy when you see people from a distance and you see Devon and you see Megan and you see whoever else, you see Kirk and you see Will and you see all these people and you're like, they're robots. And then like when you get to know them, like, oh God, like they're actually like human. Like I that's just kind of the setup foundation for this question. Have you ever had a moment where you were watching a movie, our Megan was shooting a movie and you were just like, crap. Like, for example, like I'm not cut like you. Like, so like my wife like holding the dude's hand, like she, like one of those scenes, you know, I know it's acting, but it's just like crap. Like you never have a crap moment ever?
Man, this is why I go back to what I said a few minutes ago. If someone is gonna come to Hollywood and live this life, you have to be called to it.
Man.
If you want to do it successfully.
Wow.
If you are not called to it, you will not, you cannot get through it. I promise you this.
Wow.
So because God called me to this business, you know, and had, again, before Megan and I even got together, you know, how many movies have I worked on? A lot, right? And I've been, you know, I've seen everything. So when it comes to marriage in the movies, you got to look at it this way. So your wife is a minister, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So how would it feel if she gets up to preach and she can't get through a sermon because she's so worried about what you're gonna think about the message? Wow. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do because, oh my goodness, is he looking at me crazy? And am I saying the right thing? She couldn't. So think about it. So I know it's a kind of crazy example, but it's apropos.
I feel you, bro. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So when she is on set, she has to know, you have to do, like, I support you. If I had a problem with that, I wouldn't have married you. I don't have a problem with it. It's acting. When you see, you know, the set and there's all these people, there's nothing intimate about it.
Man.
You know, so my thing is, and here's the other part. And when I say to people, say, oh man, you are crazy. But I'm like, yo, listen. Because there was some scene she had to shoot. I said, babe, listen, you better make it look good. Wow. That's the job. That's what you got to do. I said, I'm good. Wow. I'm good. I know where your heart is. I ain't worried about none of that. But I don't want you to get on camera and be timid because you're worried about what I'm going to think. I'm good. Wow. You got to go. If that's the part and that part of the movie is critical for what happens, you got to do it. Wow. You know, I don't want you to have any worry in the back of your mind about, oh man, you know, is he going to be okay? I'm fine. Because when I see it, I know that it's not real. Man. You know, and I also know that God has given me the capacity to handle it. I know that some men wouldn't handle it. They just wouldn't be like, no, I don't want this to happen. Okay, cool. Got it. That's fine. That's your call.
But that's why she needed a special spouse with the capacity to be able to help, you know what I'm saying, to be able to, in the security so that she can still do what she's called to do. That's amazing, man. Yeah, because that's but I think that's the key, man. I think, you know, this is a related point, even though it's, you know, I'll deviate just a touch, which is, I feel like we, especially as men of faith, and I don't mean you and I exactly, but I mean in the culture, as men of faith, we have to stop the suppression of the gifts of our women. Woo! Come on, we've got to stop it. Come on, we should be the #1 incubators and cultivators of the gift in our women. So good, bro. More so than making them feel judged, making them feel, oh, well, if they go out there and express their gifts, they're not going to be a good wife. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Like, we have to say, no, God put that in you, go. So
You know, I want Megan to feel good. I want her to feel like, oh, I can just give my all to this movie, give my all to this part, because God has given me a marriage that allows for that.
Wow.
You know, and I think as men of faith, we've got to start, you know, cultivating. It's like, all right, baby, you know what? No, I got the house. I'm going to take care of the house. You go do what you got to do. No, stay in that meeting longer. Go take that class. Go apply for school again. Start that business. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, because I believe the strength of our marriage is in the strength of both of us becoming everything God called us to be.
Wow.
And sometimes that he's called us to do more than just support each other. Man. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Support is critical. To have a healthy marriage, you got to have support. Yes. But each individual has to also be living according to their call.
Man.
And I think that as men of faith, I don't see us doing enough in empowering our, you know, really being supportive for our women, so that they can feel like they can go and do everything and not worry about losing us. Or we're going to be upset with them. Like, no, I'm like, nah, babe, you got to go do it.
I love that.
And I'm serious. I'll be telling them, I said, babe, look, it needs to look great. Seriously. Like, if that scene calls for it, then you better go do it and make it look great. Like, don't have me in the back of your mind, because I'm not there. I am not there. I want you to know I support you. I love you. I care about you, and I care about your gift and your place in the world.
I'm just too weak, man. Because I'll be like, Jackie, you know that thing you did in that scene? Like, can we? Like,
you're so crazy.
That looked really dope on camera. I was just wondering, like, can we do some acting? No, man, I think that's amazing, bro. Like that, but I don't think what you said was the deviation at all. I think it's reality. I think for way too long in the body of Christ, we've done that, right? We get these big time bishops, and it's like our wives just come out with the little couch thing on their head. If that's your thing, I'm not picking. I'm just saying they come out with the couch thing, and they come, you know, and give you your Kool-Aid, you know, and that's it. Rather than, hey man, what's in you, and I want to pull that out and help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my wife, I love that. My wife is blowing up on like the spiritual scene of like building women, and she has a whole mentor thing that she does. She do Dig Deep once a month, which is just women Bible study that is blowing up. And even before COVID, when we were local, she would have more people at her Bible study joint on a Friday night than sometimes we'll have in some of our Sunday services. I mean, it's jam-packed, cars everywhere, you know. And I'm ushering. I'm saying that door, like, come on in, and let me where to go, you know. But I love that, and I think we need more of that, man. How many women whose gifts have we missed out over time because of insecure men?
Oh God, it makes me tear up thinking about it, man.
Man,
it just does. I just feel like we gotta change it. We gotta change it. We gotta change it. There's too many gifts that God has put in our women for them not to feel empowered and feel supported to flourish in those gifts.
Man, all right, I'm gonna ask you a very tough question. This is gonna be one of the toughest questions you've ever been asked. You ready?
I can't wait.
Mount Rushmore of actors. 5.
The Mount Rushmore of actors for me. James Earl Jones.
Oh.
I love James Earl Jones.
Oh.
I do.
Mufasa.
Denzel Washington. Denzel is unbelievable. You know, I love Morgan Freeman. Anything Morgan Freeman is in, I love. And shoot, who else is on my Mount Rushmore of actors? Probably. Oh no, that's my favorite movie, but I wouldn't say my favorite. You know who I think just kills it all the time? Tom Hanks. I think Tom Hanks is
yes,
brilliant.
bro. He slept on like Celine Dion and slept on in music. Like Tom Hanks is that dude, man.
Yes, Tom Hanks is like crazy.
Fire, bro.
Anything that he does, he just kills it, man.
It's so believable, man.
He's fire. Oh yeah. And then, you know, if I got one more, I think there's only 4 on Mount Rushmore, but one more, you know, Sidney Poitier, man, is just unbelievable, man. You got to go way back. Sidney Poitier, man, he just, anything that he was in, he just killed it. So yeah, those are the ones.
Who's your 3 favorite under the age of 40 right
now? Michael B. For sure. Under the age of 40, I mean, I love Chadwick. I think Chadwick and I are about the same age, so he's probably right at 40. But I love Chadwick.
South Carolina, stand up.
Man, come on, stand all the way up. Love. Oh, you know what? I also want to throw in Viola Davis. You know, I want to put her on the Mount Rushmore. She's unbelievable. But in terms of under 40, you know, obviously the missus, she's under 40. Tessa Thompson is dope. You know, shoot, who else am I missing? Oh man, my sister, Letitia Wright. You know, Letitia Wright. You know, she was in Black Panther. Oh my goodness, that she is out of here. I mean, out of here. Love her. Love Boyega. I think Boyega's, you know, amazing. We got a lot of young talent right now that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Another question. Your top 3 comedians.
Eddie Murphy, without a doubt, like number
Bro,
one.
Nutty Professor is still the funniest movie of all time.
Forget about it.
We went. If you haven't watched it in a while and you go back, it's like
it works.
Bro, it hurts
so
your stomach.
So good. It's like it's so good. I just watched Nutty Professor 2 was on TV and I watched a little bit of that.
He's a nut.
Brilliant. So Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac. You know, Bernie Mac is he's just the best.
He just had it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Man,
he could work a crowd like nobody.
You say what?
He could work a crowd like nobody.
Oh, like nobody.
Yeah.
Like nobody. And then probably my third would probably be Richard Pryor. You know, I mean, Richard Pryor was just, you know, straight up genius and all that. And then, you know, look, I mean, I'll probably, even though his name has to have an asterisk, I'll buy it for obvious reasons. I mean, Bill Cosby as a comedian, man, you know, he was fantastic.
Okay. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And, you know, I do gospel music, so I always ask people this question. I need your all-time, dead or alive, 5 favorites.
5, Jesus. I'm gonna throw out a name. Okay, let's see how far you go back. Reverend James Moore.
Of course, of course, of course.
That brother right there.
Organ, shade,
all
of that.
God don't need no matches. He is fire by himself. Come on. Reverend James Moore for sure. Walter Hawkins. You know, in the Hawkins family.
For sure.
You know, I mean, just when you think about Jesus Christ is the way, and until I found the Lord, and you know, oh happy day. I mean, forget about it, right?
For sure. Old school.
So also I would go, you know, I mean, listen, you gotta throw Shirley Caesar in there. You know, you just have to. You know what I mean? Hold my mule. You know what I'm saying?
She's cold though. Like,
come on,
cold,
boy.
Man.
Come on,
she's
man.
cold-blooded.
She was cold-blooded, boy.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and then, I mean, listen, I got so many favorites. It's hard to boy. I mean, you got to throw Kirk in there. You know, you got to throw Kirk in there. I mean, of course. Shout out, I'm producing this movie. The movie is coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. And then probably the 5th one. I mean, you know, listen, I am a huge, like, Yolanda Adams, Tamala Mann, like, just take me to the king.
Big vocals.
Open heart, your heart, like, just huge, big, massive vocal. Tremaine Hawkins, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, dude, there's so many. I mean, gospel, that's the beauty of gospel. There are just the Winans, Tomorrow.
It never runs out.
Vicki Winans, man, Larnell Harris, Sandy Patty. I mean, you know, we can go as far back as you want to go.
I love it. I love it, man. Hey, bro, thank you so much, man, for crashing on us. You gave us an entire hour on a Friday, your lunchtime. You're in LA, so you gave us from 12 to 1. It's a big deal. I don't take it lightly, man. And you gave us so much wisdom, man. I mean, we talk every now and then, but I'm probably gonna hit you up more often just to glean more wisdom, man, because you are full of you just ooze wisdom, man. And I just know you can help me to think bigger and broader. But I thank you, man, for this moment, for blessing other people and letting all these people come in and just get a peek into what it's like to be the great, the legendary Devon Franklin.
Anyway, hey, my brother.
I love you, man. Any final words for the people?
Say it again.
Any final words for the people?
Man, listen, you know, we just get ready for what God's doing. He's doing, even though we're in this pandemic and the virus is real and all those things are happening. By the way, please wear a mask. Please, y'all, put the mask on. Just put the mask on so the virus can go. Please put the mask on. But beyond that, knowing that God knows that this virus is going to happen and the pandemic is working for your purpose. So anytime you're getting down or frustrated, just say, Lord, show me the way out of this. Let me stay positive. Let me stay focused, because he's going to use this time for our good. It will not work against our good.
Love it. I love it. Y'all make sure y'all follow Devon Franklin. Follow Undivided Sound, who helped put this on. Follow Dr. Jackie Greene. Follow Megan Good. And just show support for Kingdom people who are pushing this thing forward. Hey, brother, I love you, man.
I love you too, brother.
Soon. I owe you big
Please.
time. I love you, boy.
You got it, man. Anything you need. Take care.
All right, people.
Peace.